you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where each and every week I interview players one-on-one. And the cool thing about it is, I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. How's it going? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. And today, December 28th, I have your Carolina Panthers report. We're going to go over a few topics today. Number one, main topic we're going to go over is recently Carolina Panthers released General Manager Marty Hurney. Today we got a chance to talk with Coach Matt Rule, and he talked a lot about data, and that made me instantly think about the GM Marty Hurney and Tepper saying like they really want somebody that really embraces the analytics. Christian McCaffrey, his status, and also there's been a reduction in the number of fans that could be at the last game. So those are going to be the topics for today. If you're watching on Facebook or over on Twitter, encourage you to get on over to YouTube. That way you can send me your comments and I can interact with you. Love interacting with my viewers, which is why I do these live videos, so that we can interact. And remember to like the video. That's the easiest way to support the channel. So Carolina Panthers played the Washington Redskins yesterday. And final score in that game was Carolina Panthers 20, Washington Redskins 30. So a topic that's been floating around out there is this team tanking. Should we be tanking? Why did we win yesterday? Christian McCaffrey isn't playing, blah, 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 blah. So let me first go over this topic here and also share with you some information. So the Carolina Panthers, before yesterday's game, was sitting in the 5th position for the 2021 draft. Not going to get top quarterback at that position, but you're in 5th position. If they had a loss yesterday's game, they could have went to maybe 3rd or 4th. Which increases your chances if you want to jump up when you're only going from 3rd or 4th to potentially 1 or 2. But they didn't do that. They didn't tank. They didn't try to lose. They played that game to win. As a result of I mentioned earlier, they did win, and now they dropped to number 9. So they went from 5, could have went up to 3 or 4, but ended up at 9 with that with the win yesterday versus the Washington football team. So today, Coach Rule was asked about, he just actually expounded on the fact of why they're not tanking and why it's important for this team to win in December. And, I'm a little bit of a math nerd. That's my confession to you guys. And I was very entertained by the information that he had, which I can assure you I will try to get a follow-up question to him this week about just how in the heck does he go about getting all these analytics? Because it was quite impressive. And as he was talking, I just thought more and more, yeah, I couldn't imagine Rule talking to Marty Hurney about some things that he's been seeing and some observations that he's making, and Marty just kind of coming back with his style. And I know David Tepper, he hated the reference of old school, but I'm going to use it, this old school guy who doesn't look at information the same way that Rule looks at information. So I had to share that with you guys, and here it's coming up right now. And I did not get me some water, so hopefully my voice doesn't crack too much as I'm going over all this great information with everybody. All right. So what's up, B. Evans? What's up, Shakid? The Panthers actually played well with the Washington football team. I was trying to read Shaq's comments, and it tripped me up a little bit. But anyway, let me go ahead and share this information. I got some screen prompts, if you will, I'm sharing with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to replay the video about 10 times to be able to break all this information down. So I hope you all appreciate this as I go through it. So why will they not tank? Okay, foremost, Matt Rule believes that this team has has to fix the problem with not winning late in the season. And he feels like the few things that you must do well to succeed as a football team long term and make the playoffs and eventually win a Super Bowl. First thing is be able to play well deep into a game. I'm talking about the last quarter, the last 2 minutes of the game, being able to have enough juice, being able to have enough grit, and know how to play with the same intensity you did in that first quarter as you would in the last 2 minutes of a fourth quarter. The other thing is being able to play in December well. And he said this organization hasn't been able to do that. He really believes this is a skill that needs to be created within a team and within an organization. And after he said this spiel, which I'm about to break down to you now, I'm like, okay, I really could see how Tepper may not have tried to say, hey, why don't you go ahead and tank so we can get a good pick? Because once you hear this, I feel like Tepper might have said, hey, you know what? Okay, let's win games now. Maybe not get as high as a draft pick as we want, but we can build something longer term versus just short term. So here we go. Let me go ahead and start breaking it down. So there's been 20 games in the last 4 years in which the Carolina Panthers have played in the month of December. So Rule broke this down and he said he's not going to count one of those games because the New Orleans Saints didn't play any of their starters. So he's not going to count that. So all his stats came off of 19 games that the team has played in the last 4 years and what their performance has been like. So with that, there was only one season that they've made the playoffs since this. And he basically started since the Super Bowl with these stats. So here is the record for that one time that they did make the playoffs, how the team played in the month of December. All right, so in 2017, they went to the playoffs, and guess what? They had a record of 3-2. And guess what? That was the only time this team went to the playoffs. They had a winning record in December. What about the other years, the 3 other years? Well, the 3 other years, they had 3 non-playoff years, okay? In those non-playoff years, and I'm going to put the stats up here to help you all follow along with me, they were 2-12 in the month of December. Okay, so let me repeat this back. 4 years, in the past 4 years, they've only made the playoffs once. In that 1 year, during the month of December, in that January game, they were 3-2, winning record. Late in the season, you get into the playoffs. In all the 3 other seasons, which they haven't since that Super Bowl season, they only won 2 games and they lost 12, meaning this team has not played well in the month of December and they don't make the playoffs. That's analytics. That's data. That's what Coach Rule likes to use. That's what David Tepper loves. Data to make your decisions and to find your weaknesses and to find your opponent's weaknesses and get better as far as when you find your team's weaknesses. So are they planning to win this Sunday versus the Saints? Absolutely. And let me go ahead and continue to go through these notes that I have here. I see some comments that are coming through. Please continue to leave those comments because I love interacting. I don't know why I'm using my hands so much today. I'm going to stop doing that. But continue to leave your comments. Continue to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notifications. All right. So organizationally, this team has not won during the month of December, and that is one of the focuses this year with Matt Rule. That is what he's selling everybody on, is organizationally, we need to win in December. So if you tank right now, you're not winning in December. The longer you take to get that mentality change and that skill set as a part of your team, the longer it's going to take for you to win Super Bowls and sustain that success. So that is why they are not tanking. Furthermore, what is this team doing right now, and why is it important that you try to win right now in the month of December? Well, did you know when they played Green Bay, they played 7 drafted rookies, and they were the only team to do that. So this is just going on to say, all right, not only are we trying to win, but I'm trying to win with what I have, and with what I have is going to be around for a while. So it's really important that, Tepper gives Rule the opportunity to say, win now, and not just throw any guys in there to just let me see what you can do. But I got guys that can play now. I got coaches that I like. Let me try to really, really win with as much of the resources that I have right now and getting that. So 7 drafted, they're the only team to do that 2 weeks ago playing Green Bay. And then yesterday, they played the Washington football team. They weren't able to have all 7 because Troy was hurt, but they still got 6 of their 7 undrafted rookies into that game versus Washington. And he's getting guys experience in playoff-like intensity games, which means he's still trying to win. He's still trying to show you, hey, we're going to go up to Green Bay, and Green Bay has something on the line. Green Bay has a chance to win and try to increase their seeding in the playoffs. Let's not only try to go up there and play a good game, but let's try to win it and get good experience and start to get this mentality created about and this skill set of winning in December. So Coach Rule has really liked the fact that they've had games against opponents that have playoff implications. Let's fast forward to the Washington football team game. They were needing to win the NFC East and get their playoff spots. And guess what? Not only did they play them well, they played them and they won that game. And in this game versus the Washington football teams, and yes, I'm trying to make sure I say the football teams can name correctly. Check out these stats that were shared with us today with the media. Did I have it? Yes, I have it. Here we go. All right, so versus the Washington football team, they had 6 of their 7 undrafted guys. They had 13 first and second year players playing against Washington. Of that, 9 were defensive players and 10 first year players, 4 of them being undrafted. So let me get my prompts right. So what do you have? What does all that mean? That means that this is why the Carolina Panthers aren't tanking. Coach Rule likes getting the experience from the younger guys, and he's getting younger guys experience that they're winning and that they're playing close games, and it's building confidence and it's building the culture and it's building something that's just not going to succeed for just 1 year, for just 1 season, for just not just 2 seasons. And he said that as he was growing through his coaching ranks, there's only one coach that felt like you absolutely had to build through through having a lot of first round picks. Yes, that helps. And yes, some people really can benefit. But for the most part, you got to also be able to win with guys that are just later round picks. Because, hey, if you're achieving success, a la the New England Patriots, you're not going to have a high first round pick every single year. You have to know how to win with other ways. You have to have the ability to win, not just in build a team that can play fast on turf, because maybe you got a home field turf. You got to be able to win on the grass because you're going to play other teams. So anyway, I found it very fascinating, the statistical breakdown that Rule had, and I wanted to share that with you guys, and also say, hey, this is probably a proof in the pudding on why Marty Herney is no longer your general manager, because I could imagine Marty Herney hearing all those stats about 9 guys playing here, 6 or 7 guys playing there, 10 of 11, blah, 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 and these tendencies, But let's go to some of these questions, because you guys have been giving me a lot, and I appreciate that. So I want to go through, and I apologize for my voice. Don't have any water. What's up, Trill? Shaq says you don't tank because honestly it doesn't matter where you are, where you end up picking, but it's all about your scout versus where you're actually picking. I like that. Very good point. You could get a good draft pick, but also what's the message that you send to your team? What kind of morale do you dampen? So I like not tanking, because also there's, to me, a value of this is for the fans, right? Anyway, let me continue to go through all these. Panthers buzz. Yep, gonna beat the Saints this Sunday. And they moved that game to 4 o'clock because I believe it's Green Bay that's also playing a later game. So, I like what the NFL has done recently. I think it's about 4 years ago. They started making sure that fans don't see games where starters are just set and keep the games competitive. So for that reason, Carolina Panthers game has been moved to 4 o'clock this Sunday. Trill says actually the Saints did play the majority of their starters in that game. No, they didn't play the biggest ones. So that's why you don't count that one a couple years ago when they played the Saints. What's going on, Chris Johnson? All right, hope CMC plays, and I hope we bash those bum Saints. So I said last week that I don't feel like we're going to see Christian McCaffrey anymore this season, and that is where I claim that the Panthers have done a really, really good job of smoking mirrors. You can disagree with me, but I feel like they did a great job of saying, hey, he's going to play. Coach Rule said today that he's not ruling him out, but he doesn't think that he'll play. Won't know until Wednesday when they actually go through things and see how Christian is responding. But he says he doesn't think that he'll play. And I said it last week, why would Christian play at this point? I think it's just been a good smoke and mirrors job, and he's not going to play this Sunday. Shaki comment, if you're an optimistic type of person, you have to be happy that they are 5-10 instead of 4-11. The Panthers aren't that far away from being a very good team. I can't agree with you more, Shaq. Liked your comment very much on that one. Panthers Buzz saying we could have won 8 out of 10 right there for the W. Yeah, this team, and I'm going to get back online with you all and have some long talks during this offseason. This team and Coach Matt Rule and his philosophy and where this team is going, if you are wanting to see sustained success, I feel like we're heading that direction. I feel like they had so many losses that were just only by a touchdown, and doing it with just all these undrafted players, all these new coaches, all these new plays, all this new culture. I think it's been incredible. So I'm personally very excited about that. Just reading some of these comments here. All right, like Taylor Styles, she says, I wanted Justin Fields, but I'll never accept a tanking team. I like that. I like where you're going with that. There was a no guarantee that Rule even picks at quarterback, says Tyler Styles. At this point, it wouldn't be Rule, it would be the new general manager, but yeah, no guarantees. Trill is disputing Drew Brees was the only major starter that didn't play. Kamara played, Thomas played, Lattimore played, Jordan played. How long did they play? And, NFL is a team, is a league that's driven by the quarterback. So you can say that Drew Brees was the only major starter, but that's pretty significant. But nevertheless, whether we dispute how significant that game was, Matt Rule decided not to count that game in his stats that I just went over earlier. So I just want you to make sure that you have that as a note. So that looks like everything. Hey, as always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Have your comments, leave them below. Carolina Panthers play their final game this Sunday in Carolina. Reduced capacity there. Only going to be 1,500 fans that are allowed in this game due to the COVID situation that's going on. So that was announced today. And I'll continue to stay tuned, and